What's up, my friends? Great to see you again. Day 7, 30 days to change. How's it going so far? I'd love your feedback, thoughts, things that kind of struck you powerfully or that you've thought about or that you think I could even add, because this is a pilot program for all of us, you know? But in any case, I'm excited about today's topic. This is one of my favorite topics. And it really has to do with controlling the mind. I say all the time, the mind, as well as any other resource we'll have in our life, makes an excellent servant and a terrible master. The great thing about the mind is that it's an impartial thing. It's not inclined against you or for you necessarily. It is whatever you tell it to be. And that's incredibly empowering. One of the most destructive things we can believe about ourselves or the world is that, oh, well, it is what it is. I can't change it. You know, like if you think that your mind is the way it is and that you can't change it, that's a pretty difficult position to be in. You're trapped, you know, but that's not the truth. The truth is that we have tremendous power over our mind and over many other things of our life that we'll get to down the road here. But today we're specifically talking about taking our thoughts captive. Now you can say to yourself, what on earth does that mean? Well, what it basically means is you're identifying the thoughts. Yesterday we talked about metacognition, which is being aware of what you're thinking about your thinking, if you will. So today what we're doing is now we're going to take an action step toward changing the things that we think. Well, how do you do that? Well, like I said, we have 40 to 80,000 thoughts every single day. And what you want to do is, and let me add also, generally we have similar thoughts. Our thoughts become habitual. And so we generally have the same thoughts day in and day out. In fact, there are some researchers that say 85% of our life day to day is done by habit. Like on the subconscious level, like we don't even think consciously of what we're doing. And that includes your thoughts. So you can include about 85% of the thoughts you think on a regular day are just thoughts that you had yesterday and the day before and the day before. And so what taking thoughts captive is it's like, I think of a TSA line. You screen every person that comes through for the airport, you know, because you want to make sure they don't have any weapons or anything contraband on them, you know. And so what you do is when thoughts come into your mind, as they so often do all the time, right? You stop. The first thing, the action step is to stop. As soon as a thought comes into your mind that is destructive, negative, toxic. Remember, we said yesterday, I believe we said yesterday, and if not, let me make sure to say it today, that our thoughts are like seeds. And this is so important to get because every thought in and of themselves, you're like, oh, it's just one thought of 40 to 80,000. Well, it's not a big deal. No, it's a huge deal because when you allow one thought into your brain to sit there, embed itself, it's going to grow and get bigger, and then it's going to reproduce after its own kind. So you have one negative thought of hatred, anger, lust, envy, whatever, and that one thought becomes a whole area in your brain of these same similar thoughts, toxic thoughts. And so you want to identify them right as soon as you get them and get rid of them so they don't have a chance to grow in your mind. So you have a negative thought. It could be jealousy, comparison. It could be anything that's negative, lust, whatever that comes into your mind. The first thing you do is identify it. You stop. You say the thought comes into your mind, whether it's from advertising from the outside in or something from the inside out, you know, something that you think about yourself. You stop, you identify it, and you throw it away. And when I was renewing my mind when I had a life transformation, I became radically saved through Christ when I was 21 years old. I struggled with a lot of thoughts, and if I'm going to be completely candid, they were lustful thoughts and negative thoughts, angry thoughts. And so what I'd have to do with every thought that would come into my mind, a negative thought would come in, I'd stop it and I'd imagine the thought like a piece of paper, and I'd grab the piece of paper and I'd crumble it and I'd throw it away. And not only that, but you have to replace it with something because nature abhors a vacuum. That's why so many times people that try to change behavior, they'll try to cut something out, but if you don't replace it with something, something's going to fill that gap, and usually it's the thing that we're trying to cut out coming back down the road. So you have to replace it with something. So when a negative thought comes in, for me, and so here's the thing, guys, I just stop, I'd identify it, I'd stop like the whole mind would shut down, and I would metacognition, you know, it was using metacognition, and I'd focus on that one thought, and I'd say, you're not allowed here, this is not who I am, this is not what I choose to think about. And I'd crumble it up, and I'd throw it away, right? And then I'd replace it with the opposite, something I do want there. And angry, like say I was angry with somebody, I'd take the thought, crumble it up, throw it away, and I say, no, that person's a good person. Or maybe I get frustrated with that person, but they're not a bad person. You know, you can speak the truth to yourself, you know? Okay, so let's see here. What was the other thing I was gonna do? So throw it away, replace it. And this is true with thoughts that you have about yourself. You know, I'm ugly, nobody likes me. Stop, right there. Throw it away, or stop, identify it, throw it away, and replace it. I get to determine whether or not I'm ugly, and I say I'm not. I get to determine whether people like me or not by who I am, and I'm a good person. I like who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am, and people should generally like me, you know? And so you speak the truth about yourself. And here's the thing, it's frustrating. Oh, it's 6-minute videos already. Gosh, pray for me, guys. I gotta make these shorter. But at first, it's gonna be really hard to do this because it's gonna seem like an avalanche. Again, 40 to 80 thoughts every single day, and then say half of them are negative. That's 20 to 40,000 thoughts, 20 to 30,000 thoughts, 40,000 thoughts. That's a lot of thoughts you gotta throw away. You're not gonna get it all in one day, 1 month, 1 year even. It's gonna be an ongoing process, but here's the encouraging news. That first week that this is just my own story. That first week that I was like throwing away all these negative thoughts and replacing them, say that hypothetically that first week there was 20,000 thoughts a day. That's so much, and I know that wasn't that much because I'm not that fast of a processor. And the second week that came, there was only 15,000. The third week, 10. The fourth week, 5. And so it gets less and less and less until I'm at a point right now where generally my thoughts are very positive. My thoughts are very encouraging, hope-filled, and are leading me in a direction that I want to go. And so it gets easier is what I'm trying to say. So don't get overwhelmed or exasperated, but most of us have thinking patterns, and you're gonna wanna identify generally what yours are. A really good one is a response to failure. Oh, I always fail. I can never do anything right. Stop those thoughts right there. I mean, those are the most destructive ones because you're programming your brain to say, I always fail. No, don't say that. Don't let it do that. Your brain is impartial. Whatever information you give it, it's going to recreate and grow. And so, you know, like if you have a failure, it's okay to say you had a failure. I had a failure, but I'm gonna persevere until I get it right, you know? So anyway, long video again. Sorry guys, but I hope this is a blessing. I can't wait to continue the journey with you guys. And again, take notes if you can, if you don't mind. It's so helpful. When you think a thought, it has a certain imprint in your brain synapses, but when you write something down, it's a deeper imprint and you're much more likely to retain that information. So food for thought. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Thanks so much for watching.